Hey there, welcome back to Reddit Stories, Cookie Edition. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more Reddit stories.
Should I tell my ex's fiance that he was cheating on me with her when they met? Hello, Reddit. Here's a new poster for you. I've just learned some new information and I'm in need of some guidance. I, 26F, and my ex-boyfriend, who we shall refer to as Fred, 28M, began dating around 4 years ago. We met at work and immediately clicked. We were in a relationship for approximately a year and a half, and we were quite active in one other's life throughout that time. Consider the fact that he traveled with my whole family a few months before we ended up breaking up. Fred, on the other hand, began behaving strange and aloof, such as ignoring my calls and avoiding spending time with me. We both still lived at home. Anyway, we ended up breaking up when I brought up the subject of how he was acting distantly, and he responded by telling me that we just weren't compatible anymore. About a week after the split, Fred contacted me at 2 a.m. and told me he was a bad guy and that he had been cheating on me for the previous year. It seems that his guilty conscience got the better of him since we had no contact with each other, no shared friends, and no motive to speak with each other. He could have said absolutely nothing and I would have never guessed. He informed me that this had occurred more than time. Despite the fact that I didn't inquire as to who it was, I had my suspicions that it was a female he met at work. The same location where he met me. I wasn't working there anymore. Mostly because he had spoken about her and was messaging a female who he said was his aunt on a regular basis. I know, it was BS. I was suspicious. We maintained in touch with him for a short period of time, since he expressed a desire to remain friends. Then, for my own mental health's sake, I chose to cut off all communication with him and ban him from all social media platforms. Despite the fact that I did not ban his number, I did not text him at all. I moved across the nation a short time after and continued on with my life. He has contacted me around once a year to inquire about my well-being and to wish me well. I never reply to anything. As a result of my curiosity, I searched his name. I know, I'm a complete moron, and discovered a wedding website for him and his fiancée. They are planning to tie the knot later this year. Of course, I couldn't help but click on it since I couldn't stop myself. The history of them may be found on this website. That she was the female with whom he cheated on me is all but confirmed by these stories of them. It verified that they met at their place of employment without providing any specifics, context. He left this job with about 2 months left in our relationship, so he definitely met her while we were dating, and he had even mentioned her a few times. Their narrative also includes a description of how he hounded her to grab a drink with her for weeks. Yep, that is an exact quote, until she eventually gave in. The time frame is totally consistent with her being the woman he was seeing. He even told me that he told her that we were casual because our social media profile pictures were with each other when she inquired as to who I was, which he said was true. I also recall that the name of his fiancée was the same as the name of his aunt who he was messaging at the time. The fact that they include these instances while he was seeing someone else, me, on their marriage website leads me to believe that he most likely never informed her about our connection. So I'm certain you understand where I'm headed. Should I tell her the truth or lie to her? It's been so long since I've had any recollection of him. I am well aware that we were not a good match and that I escaped with my life. But I can't get the feeling that she should be aware of what she's getting herself into. But I don't want to come out as petty. Well, maybe 5% of me does. But I get the impression that their relationship is based on a foundation of deception. And I certainly don't want to come out as the crazy ex-girlfriend. Part of me believes that someone in his family or a friend would have informed her since they were aware of our relationship, but they were horrible individuals who may not have been aware of the whole period. In any case, any ideas you have would be highly appreciated. I don't have a method to contact her right now, so I'll most likely have to track her out on social media and get in touch with her. Story 2. Unintentionally caught my friend's dad cheating. Should I tell him? I'm in desperate need of guidance. It was about 2 years ago that I, 33M, hosted my buddy, 32M, and his father, who had come to see me from out of town. His father arrived 2 days before my buddy, despite the fact that they traveled together. The guests would be staying in my private guest apartment, which is located on the lower floor of my home and is generally rented out via Airbnb. We are all musicians, and the purpose of the trip was to record together in a professional studio for the sole purpose of having a good time. By the way, the father is the one who planned this vacation. The second night his father was staying with us, I was in my kitchen preparing dinner when I heard a high-pitched female voice from the downstairs apartment above me. People conversing at a typical level may be heard rather well since the walls and ceilings are a little thin. This definitely caught my attention, and I immediately stopped what I was doing and simply listened for a while. It seemed like she was in her 20s. Her friend's father is in his 40th year. It seemed quite flirty, and I could hear kissing noises in the background as well. And then I found out that my buddy's father had been foolishly cheating on his wife at the home of his kid's friend, just one day before his son was due to arrive. Now, to give you some background on our relationship, we were college roommates and were really close throughout those years as well. The place where he grew up is my hometown, and I've met many of his relatives there. Then he moved away to New York City, and we became estranged. We hadn't spoken with one another in years, and it seemed that we had drifted away for good. However, shortly after this episode, he returned to my city, where we both attended college, and has since established himself with his girlfriend. He called me on his first day back, and we all get together once every few months after that to catch up. His girlfriend is fantastic, and I've grown to know her very well. They're almost certainly going to get married and have children together. Despite the fact that the title indicates otherwise, I have never informed my buddy of my accidental finding. When I first heard about it, my instinct told me it was just his father's filthy secret, none of my concern, despite the fact that it occurred in my home, and I shouldn't get involved. Furthermore, at the time of the incident, we were in the midst of our grown-apart period, and I felt no compulsion to bring it up. However, things have changed recently. We're having another get-together, and every time he mentions his family, this flashes across my head like a flashback. I don't have a close relationship with his father or anybody else in his immediate family. Nonetheless, I'm concerned about creating trouble for him or his family, and I'm also concerned that he'll be irritated that I've been quiet for so long. The last thing I want to mention about my buddy is that he has always been pretty self-centered and egotistical, and I have the same impression about his father. Finding out about his adultery was upsetting, but it was almost expected by me, to be honest. In general, I have a great deal of contempt and tolerance towards narcissistic individuals. Damn it, a friend is, after all, just that, a friend. What do you think you do? Do I go ahead and tell him what I've been thinking all this time, or should I simply leave it alone? Is it possible that you'd be upset with a buddy if they kept a secret like that? Thank you for taking the time to read this article and for sharing your comments.
Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Reddit stories.